What's up, Punters Pod listeners? You can listen to us every Wednesday on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or even watch us on YouTube. Now, let's get into the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Punters Pod.
What a time to be alive. We had wins and losses. We had highs and lows. We were happy and sad. Those are all the ways I would describe round 2 of the AFL season. But one thing's for sure, Jez, we will not be talking about hamstring injuries on this podcast. But this week we have huge player prop odds, big winning predictions, and the best value and previews in the country. How are you? How is life?
I'm going pretty good. Upset that my impeccable record took a little bit of a hit last week.
It wasn't great.
Still a positive week, but it's 16-5 isn't bad to start off the AFL season, I don't think.
You can't complain at all. We both went 4 out of 7 last week. As you said, still positive, still above 50%. That's all you can ask in a round with 2 huge upsets.
Yeah, exactly.
And I, of course, went 2 of 2 on my player props. How'd you go on them?
I went 0-2. Oh, and that was my first shitty player prop performance. I've taken a bit of a pussy approach this week.
Shit.
I've taken 2 pretty easy ones. Well, easy ones that I think still around the $1.80 to $2 range. So get on them there, but they will be coming up soon.
Beautiful. Of course, my picks were Josh Tracy, 3+ goals. He kicked 4 with ease. And Chad Warner, 23+. He gets around 27 to end that game. Jez, anything else you want to discuss before we get into normal proceedings?
One little thing, and it's that, and this is a bit general footy talk, and this is a bit of, everyone's pretty much said this, but it has taken a lot of sting out of the game, this stupid opening round shit. I'm telling you right now, they cannot have it next year, because the 7 games, it just doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel right, and it feels like we're missing something.
For me, it's more the fact that you have, for example, if you're a team of Collingwood like we are, you play 2 games.
Supporter of Collingwood.
Yeah, sorry, a supporter of Collingwood. You play 2 games and then you just have a bye. It just feels weird. And now I'm not really in the swing of being a fan, and now I got to get back into it again.
100%.
And then in around 4 or 5 weeks there'll be another bye. So it's a bit. Yeah, it is a bit strange.
I'm just thinking more so and Collingwood fans, whatever, Bulldogs fans, 2 massive wins. You beat Brisbane at thing, yeah? Yep. Three massive wins.
Brisbane, GWS, Adelaide.
GWS and Adelaide. So you're on top of the world, shit ton of momentum. And then it's all right, now you're going to have a bye. In round, you played 3 games, you're going to have a bye.
Well, Hawthorn have a 17-day
break.
Yeah, that's so crazy, yeah. It does. That's a good observation. It does take the sting out of it a lot. Jez, let's see if you can do something you haven't done all season.
Sake.
Who is the random player above my head? Essendon player.
He would not have a clue. Essendon player.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah, go tell me.
He was a supplementation player when they went through the drug saga.
Oh yeah, that helps.
He is a multiple-time premiership.
That helps me so much.
He is a multiple-time premiership player at his former club. That's not Essendon.
Hawthorn, former club?
He is a multiple-time All-Australian at his former club.
Hawthorn, former club.
It is not Hawthorn.
Geelong.
It is Geelong. Come on, Jez. Come on. You got this.
I don't have it. Initials.
His first name starts with a J.
Yeah.
His last name starts with a K.
Josh Kelly.
Jez! It's James Kelly.
Oh, it's close.
James Josh Kelly. Are you fucking joking? Oh my God. The next time Jez gets a player, and I've chosen an easy one today.
Easy one? What the fuck are you talking about easy one?
I did not do what you asked last week. Last week you did ask for current players, but I was thinking every current player.
No, I'm not saying I don't need current players, but I need the other day you put some kind up from
Tom Bell
2010.
Okay, but James Kelly you should be getting, and you should have need the initials, and then you name Josh Kelly. Come on, man. How'd you go on betting this week? Because I'm frustrated with you.
I'll be honest, I was frustrated betting this week. I didn't punt that much, but when I did, it was a fucking disaster. Friday night, this probably started off my shitty streak on AFL. Laird can't get 19 touches on Friday
He was
night.
bad.
Fucking horrific.
What happened to Laird?
Has this like injury, goes off. He only plays 68% time on ground.
Really?
It's fucking insane.
But
Like,
what did he injure? What was injured?
I fucked if. But every time you saw the like little tracker thing on the AFL app,
It's
it was
never
like
fun.
I swear every time I clicked into the app, Laird was on the bench.
That's never fun.
Then Sunday, just fucking disaster. Rosie gets injured. Redmond gets injured. That fucks like 3 of my multis, which is shit. Like I said, I didn't bet much. I reckon I put on a total of maybe like 8 bets on the weekend.
That's
like
degenerate behaviour, saying you didn't bet much and you put 8 bets on.
Oh, come on.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm with you. But anyway.
8 bets on. I reckon 2 of them won. Like, just a red weekend for me. Fucking horrible.
As for me, my first win was on the Friday. I did win my free tip, which was the Dogs 1-39 at 268. Was shitting my pants a bit late in that game when Adelaide scored 5 in a row. But the Dogs prevailed for me. Also had a small $3 multi on that game, which included a Rankin goal, which once again, really lucky he scored late. And it was an amazing goal, and it helped me a lot there. Freo 40 plus. We both said it on the podcast. I don't know if you took that.
Yeah, I took that as a single 100%.
I took that as a single. Freest money on earth.
Also, the line. The line was I said it
Oh,
last
the
week
line
on the
was
pod.
very low.
Minus 21 and a half. It was the easiest shit ever.
And then the other only win I had for the weekend was with a few mates at a cafe. We made the decision to put a multi on for Port Adelaide versus Essendon. And that multi was Port minus 17 and a half. Merritt 24, Butters 24, Caldwell 20 at $5, which is really good. Merritt looked shaky, but you know what I found about Merritt? And it's happened to me 2 weeks in a row. Merritt loves stat padding at the end of fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, he looked dead both weekends for 30 in rounds when they versed Hawthorn. I think that was round 1.
Yeah.
And the round 2 against Port. And he just stacks them up in the last quarter. So we don't mind a bit of stat padding from Merritt. Other than that, there wasn't a heap I liked in the other games. I stayed away from a few. I lost in a few. And I want to give a special shout out to Adrian Mazzarella, my barber, for cooking me on a multi in the first game, which was Sydney versus Hawthorn.
There was a punt, and this is kind of a bad beat, kind of not. But like I said, it was time poor over the weekend, so I did take a lot from Punt AI here and there. They had this massive multi on the Saturday night, paying $6 something odds, and I 100% put it on. And it was Shea Bolton for 2+ goals, Cozzy Pickett 2+ goals, Josh Tracy 3+ goals. I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, so I absolutely loved that multi. So I whacked that multi on. Bolton's done easy. Tracy's done easy. Cozzy kicked like 1 goal, 2 or something like that. And it was like the fourth quarter. I reckon there was like 5 minutes left. Game was dead and buried. Cozzy takes a mark about 40 out. Kicks it. It looks on the whole way and then just drifts fucking so late. $6 odd multi. Punt AI, I've been cooking up a lot of those recently. So if you want to get some value multis, like always, go to Instagram, search up Punt AI, DM them the word premium. And if you want a juicy little discount,
hear us out.
Tell them that the Punters Pod sent you out. They'll give you 50% off your first period. So enjoy that one.
Also, you were pretty unlucky. I think you forgot on the Kerno.
That was so fucked.
And he has 2. He's involved in everything in the first quarter.
Has 2 within like the first 5 minutes.
Hits the post also in the first 10 minutes, then does not sniff the ball for the rest of the game.
Shit cunt.
Impossible.
I knew I didn't like him.
Yeah, same. I'm back to Carlton Kerno. Hate him once again. I promised one of the listeners who was sending us all these wins on the weekend, Noah, that I would give him a shout out. On the weekend, he had a great weekend, unlike us, Jez. He took this single, which was Fremantle minus 24 and a half at $2. He chucked a massive $256 on that. So he doubled his money there nice and easily. Earlier in the week, he took our player prop, our free tips. He took Gold Coast at the line at $2. He's smart. He's picking his own line
and just
putting it up a little bit because we were very confident on these picks on the pod. So he took Gold Coast minus 35 and a half. Once again at $2, and he kept building these ladder challenges. Bulldogs minus 3.5 at $2. So once again, Noah did that elite. He also had Kerno on the first game of the weekend, who cooked him as well.
My bad.
But for people like Noah that listen to the Punters Pod, they are winning. So make sure you listen to all our picks later on in this episode.
Talking about players that we don't like, Charlie Kerno, fucking us. Betting blacklist.
Betting blacklist.
I've added 2 players onto my watch list. and I've got one still on my blacklist. Charlie Curnow is not going to be one of them. He did not get added.
I like punting on Charlie.
Yeah, I like punting on Charlie too. 2+ goals is pretty safe and still around the $1.30, $1.40 mark. So good value there. My watch list last week was Will Ashcroft. He remains on there. Didn't play.
Really? Yes.
I will. This is going to be my watch list. On watch, since he's on watch, I am going to put a little bet on him this week. See if he proves himself. If he doesn't, he's going straight to the blacklist. If he does, he'll get removed off the watch list. My 2 others that are on watch are Carl Amon.
Yes.
Disgusting performances to start the season. He was an absolute lock last year. 19 plus, 20 plus, 21 plus, absolute lock. This year he's been shitting his absolute pants. Ended on 16 on Friday night.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday night, sorry. Just always a player that's always in the fucking camera and never gets the ball. Always calling for it, never gets the ball. So he's on watch for me. Another player on watch, Sam Darcy. Sam Darcy is on watch. He's on fraud watch, honestly. Like, Aaron Norton outperforming him like
every week.
Motherfucker. Don't tell me that there's 3 players on Sam Darcy. I don't give a fuck.
And he's being held. Mate, seriously. The fact that everyone was saying number 1 player in the comp.
Generational number 1 player. And he can't kick 2 goals as the tallest cunt in the league. Get fucked.
Fraud watch. I like that. I've released a player. Darcy Parish gets released. Once again, he annoyed us.
He's just good for betting.
Yeah, he annoyed us that game against Hawthorn because he didn't get that 1 disposal late. But he is a good player for betting because in that Essendon midfield, who else is going to get the fucking ball? And he just is a stat padder. So Darcy Parish can't lay a tackle, can get the pill, had 24 on the weekend. He's free. We'll release him. James Rowbottom. How in a game with no Heaney, no Goulden, you're in the midfield for fucking 90% of the game. Look at his heat map. In the centre, the whole fucking game.
More tackles than disposals.
Unbelievable. Seriously, and he started the game well.
It's gross.
Can't get whatever I needed. Honestly, Rowbottom, I can't believe it. You're lucky BT's your uncle, honestly.
And blacklisted for me. Still Nazire.
Still Nazire. He's there.
He's still there just because I think that he's going to do this throughout the whole season where one game they play him 80% forward. The next game, he's a full-time midfielder. The next game, he was sent to halfback. So I can see him getting like 18 again this week.
He's a trap, exactly.
Yeah, trap.
Everyone will get excited. Everyone will be like, oh, Naz this week, Naz this week.
St Kilda, Jack Sinclair, absolute lock every single week in, week out. He's going to get it because he's coming off that halfback line. He's not going to get tagged, so take Jack Sinclair.
Will Naz get tagged this week? They got Melbourne, I think.
No, they got Brisbane. They won't tag him, but
he just won't get near it enough.
You know, just a side thing, just on betting in this. I've noticed that, like, you know how you were talking before, you're like Parrish, and we were talking about Merritt a little bit, Jagger Smith, players like this, Clayton Oliver. These players that are like bad, and like I hear people talking about them on the radio and in comment sections and shit like that, and everyone's bagging him because they're not like the top quality, they're not great players, but I love them because they are so good to bet on because it's just like disposal merchants, people who want to get rid of the ball as soon as they can. They are the players that I love. Like I have like an affinity for, even though he fucked me at the start of the year, I do for stat padders and an affinity for like Darcy Parish. Like because Darcy Parish last year was I would ride when he came into the side late. I would my bad, but I would be on him.
Crazy, but
I would bet on him every single week because it was just that clean, crisp. He would get 24 plus every single week in, week out.
You know what he is? He is the type of guy, all those players, they're the type of people to look at their stat sheet at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, who are the top 5 players to look at their stat sheet? We'll chuck in Parrish. Jagger Smith, 100%.
Jagger Smith, 100%.
Nick Dacos would look at his stat sheet.
Yeah, he would.
He would. Who else?
Josh Dacos.
Josh Dacos sprints. Yeah. Josh Dacos sprints to get a ball when it goes over the boundary line or over the goal line.
We were there at that St Kilda game, and I think we both needed. We both needed Josh Dacos for like 24, and he was on like 18 coming into the fourth quarter, and we were like, "Fuck, it's going to be hard." Within the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, the cunt was everywhere, like running around the back, getting the handball. So just players that love to get disposals.
There's a lot of them, but Merritt is one of them. I don't
Merritt's the biggest
in the last quarter when Essendon are getting smashed by 80. Merritt's brain's thinking, fuck, do I have 25 or 28? Let me try and go get a couple more.
We need more players like that because then you players like Amon who are unselfish and who want to fucking
team player.
Fuck off, we don't want that shit. We want absolute stuff.
Get the touches. Who's going to get the touches this week, Jez?
I'll tell you who's going to get the
touches. Player props, boys.
Player props coming up right now. my first player prop, sponsored by Punt AI. Boys, like we always say, go to their Instagram, DM them the word premium, tell them that we sent you for a cheeky little discount. They're absolutely on fire to start the AFL season.
Yep.
But here are some nuffy picks from me and EC. Player prop number 1, Caleb Sarong, 29 plus disposals, $1.80.
The bounce back.
It didn't work for us last week with targeting players against Richmond. Got absolutely tagged out of the game last week. Caleb Sarong. Richmond aren't going to tag him. 29 plus should be easy money.
I like it, Jez. As I mentioned every single week, and this is why you listen to the Punters Pod. I got 2 out of 2 last week, as I mentioned before, both at $2. And my first pick is even juicier. It's $2.50. It's 2+ goals at his home ground. It's Patrick Dangerfield for 2+ goals at $2.50. No genuine reason other than gut feeling can envision Danger at home after the week off in Geelong's first primetime game of the year, after only getting 4 touches and being on the bench that whole game against Fremantle, getting 2 goals at the Cattery.
And my second player prop, kind of going against yours, but kind of not. It's going to be Jeremy Cameron, 3+ goals at $1.81. Adelaide, for the time being, I did it last week. Was Sam Darcy one of my...
He wasn't, no.
He wasn't, but I think I mentioned something in the pod about Sam Darcy, 2+ goals. Jeremy Cameron, 3+. I just think as long as Mark Keane isn't in the lineup, and I don't think he's going to play all year, I just like targeting the tall forwards against them. They don't really have a massively tall backline. They got Butts and...
Or Worrell.
No,
Murray.
Butts and Murray, who are their 2 key pillars, but I don't see them getting anywhere close to Jezza Cameron.
Fair enough, Jez. Hopefully Danger and Jezza can both score big. My other pick is another elderly player in the AFL, and that's Scott Pendlebury, 20+. That's $1.90. Pendle's record at Marvel is incredible, having 20+ in 9 of his last 10 games there, with a week off in between. A well-rested Pendle should come out and dominate. Look, I know he didn't play much game time. He played that 55% in opening round against St Kilda. But with this week off, he should play more. At Marvel, should play more. And even in that game against St Kilda, he still got 26 disposals. You combine my 2 legs, you will get $5.12 if you want to back the oldies with me. That's Patrick Dangerfield 2+ at $2.50 and Scott Pendlebury 20+ at $1.90.
I really like I don't really like it, but I like the reasoning behind why he might play more than 65% game time, or 55, whatever the fuck it was. I can see him playing a fair bit of time this week off, decent rest going into the next week. So I like
Good Marvel record.
Let's get into these picks, boys. We've been absolutely on fire. 16-5 is outrageous to start off the season.
I'm 12 and something.
Yeah,
I've only got 4 less than you. He's up. Let me see. Anyway. It's 12-9. Come on, man.
Cats versus the Crows. Obviously, for the Cats coming off the bye, Crows beaten. They haven't really shown me much, to be honest. I know everyone is pretty keen on them.
Last week they were pretty fucking good.
They were pretty fucking good, but beating the Pies at the G and a close loss to the Dogs at Adelaide Oval. I don't know. It was meant to be their fortress, the Adelaide Oval. They're meant to be the best home and away team last season. I know I'm very high on the Dogs, but I still, I'm not totally impressed. Just have a very off feeling about them this season, if I'm honest.
Look, in my opinion, the end score kind of did flatter them, but it shows something that they fought back hard in the end. They lost. It sucks that it was a home game where they had all of the momentum and crowd behind them. They couldn't get it done, but played good footy nonetheless. Looked good. I think a lot of people coming into this season said, no chance Adelaide will replicate a great season like they did last year with the harder fixture. So far, against good teams, they've played good footy. Yes, they lost last week, but at the end of the day, every bloke and the dog are saying the Dogs are premiership favourites. So how can you really hate them for that?
For me, to be honest, it's still their midfield. And I know Rankin came back last week. He adds a little bit of flair, but the midfield just does not thing. And what's happened to Jake Saligo?
Yeah, Saligo's died.
2 years ago, Jake Saligo was
next up
breakout star. Next up,
yeah,
25s every single game. And maybe this is betting me talking, but 14 disposals or some shit.
Yeah,
on the
he's
he goes
really
absolutely
off.
missing. Berry's their highest player for centre bounce attendances. Then it's Dawson, but Dawson's plays all over the place most of the game.
But the Dogs have one of the best midfields, and they nearly bet the Dogs with their weak midfield. So how can you shit on Adelaide this hard? And
I'm not shitting on them. Like I said, I just have a bit of an off feeling about them this season. I don't know why, but just the way that they're playing, slow, methodical, I don't really like it that much. This game for me is very clear in my mind, to be honest.
Oh, same. Look, I can't lie. I love Geelong off the bye.
I love Geelong off the bye. They're a great bye team. I can't see this going any other way than a Geelong beatdown at GMHBA Stadium. Adelaide just look a little uncertain to me, like I was saying before. They were able to play more free-flowing football in the second half, but at GMHBA, this is only going one way in my mind. I have Geelong minus 16.5 at $1.90. I can't see them getting anywhere close, to be honest. This might be a little flutter on 40 plus as well.
Jeez, I'm not that strong, but I do love Geelong off the bye. It's a stark contrast to the Crows last week, who had that hard-fought loss against the Dogs. Cats at home adds even more fuel to my Geelong-leaning thought process here, expecting a big game from all their top liners, because to be honest, this season, Jezza and Danger really haven't thrown a punch. Danger mainly.
Jesus.
Jezza's been all right. Crows will fight hard, but get trampled late. Cats minus 17.5 at $1.90, while Jezza to my left pulls up Jezza scoring 5 goals in the game this season.
I'm just going to help you out a bit because Geelong fans would have absolutely ripped you a new one. Jeremy Cameron in his first game of the season against Freo, 3 goals for 23 disposals.
Okay, yes, maybe Jezza has thrown a punch, but Danger hasn't, and that's all I'm thinking. My headline for this game...
I got one too.
Okay, let's go. Mine is Old Cats, New Tricks, Dangerfield and Cameron star in Geelong's dominant win over the Crows.
And mine is Scared Crows. The Crows...
That was mine last week, you fuckwit.
Was it?
That was my exact headline last week.
Oh, my bad. Well, anyway, Scared Crows. The Crows fall to 1 and 2 and look poor against the high-ranked opponents in the Dogs and Cats.
Oh, my God. No chance.
I should have named it like Raining Dogs and Cats or something.
You just ripped off my headline.
Yeah, because I remember that, bro. Second game of the round, Pies versus the Giants at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
Again, Pies off the bye. Will not be attending this game. I'm not going to fucking Marvel Stadium. The Giants, poor effort at home.
So disappointing.
Very disappointing. They kind of sucked me in with that Hawthorn win at the start of the season. And then they've just shit in my face in these last 2 games.
Because now they're a very hard team to judge right now because that Hawthorn game's in the back of my head. Then after the Dogs game, you're like, oh, Dogs are Marvel. Dogs are a really good side.
Exactly.
And now it's like, oh, fuck, maybe they are.
That was meant to be their bounce back game after a shit performance against the Dogs. Should have come through with a win there, even with their current injury list. I don't rate Saints at all. So I really think they should have gotten up for that game.
Yeah. And they just didn't. In the end, it was only 4 points, but the game, they looked bad. I watched that game.
No, they just scored like 4 goals very, very late.
They just looked very, very bad. As we said, Collingwood off the bye. But I got a little topic I want to mention to you here, Jez. Does Bobby Hill get straight into the side when he's fit to play?
No. And I think it's going to be a while till he's fit. He doesn't look the most fit human being in the world at the moment.
No, not at all.
It was like selection integrity last season during the finals. So if it was that urgent during the finals and they still didn't pick him, I don't see why they're going to pick him during the home and away season.
Yeah, but what if Collingwood's forward line's not all running that well? They need a little spark.
Like Bobby Hill, I'll be honest, and I can see this happening for the rest of this year and for the rest of his career with Collingwood at least. I reckon he's going to come in, he's going to get fit, he's going to get back into the side. He'll have like a quiet game and everyone will be like, oh, he's been off footy for a while. He'll have a game where he kicks 3 goals, everyone will go skit. He'll have another couple quiet games and then he might just fade out again and go back to I don't think it's going to be I hope because it's what Collingwood need. Collingwood need that forward line spark, but I don't think he's going to be a super consistent performer like we've seen in the past. In a couple of years ago from him, to be honest.
But look, I'm not even that. As a Collingwood fan, I don't know if I'm in love with the fact that Bobby's even coming back. I kind of feel a bit like, not betrayed by him, but I don't know if I'm in love with Bobby Hill the way I was.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
So if he comes back, he comes back. If not, I wouldn't be rushing him back because honestly, I'm a bit over Bobby Hill. But about the Pies this weekend, how do you feel? How do you feel about this game?
Honest toss-up for me. Like, Pies at Marvel Stadium, never a good sight in my eyes. Just looking back, I can just think of some horrible games, like last season against the West Coast where they almost beat them. Like
North Melbourne a couple of years ago.
North Melbourne when they were down by 52 points and ended up coming back. It's just like never a good sign when I see Collingwood home game at Marvel Stadium. Coming off the bye though, having Howe and Moore most likely come back into the side. think the Pies will get smashed in the midfield. Oliver is going to have an absolute field day.
Oliver 40 plus.
Load up on Clayton Oliver. But I still think the rest and home ground advantage will help the Pies prevail. My free pick for this game is going to be the Pies 1-39 at $2.25. I can't see him smashing him.
Nah, that's probably a good call. Pies at Marvel, like you said, is just so weird and hard to read. Giants have to bounce back how pathetic they were. But once again, to be fair, they didn't bounce back after getting demolished by the Dogs. Can't go past the Pies based once again off the week's rest and just necessity to win before pressure starts getting very hot on them. My free tip will be a bit different to yours. I'm going the Pies minus 11.5 at 190.
The Saints versus the Lions, the second game at Marvel for the weekend, where there's 3 games at Marvel, and there's another game at Marvel played after this. So they really, really liked Marvel this week. Admirable win by the Saints at NG. Honestly,
it was.
It's admirable.
They had to fire a shot, and they finally fired a shot this year.
Yeah, I feel like also every single game this year we're going to be on Wangan Miller a watch. Where is
he?
But just like do you kind of feel for him because he's going to be scrutinised to an inch of his life. When you do look back at his game last week where he had 18 disposals but kicked 3 goals.
Yeah, 3 goals is actually not a bad performance.
3 goals, 18 disposals. If that's like
baseline.
If that's like Bailey Humphrey, everyone's shitting their pants about how fucking he's the best player in the league. So like you kind of got to give him credit. Like I said, he's going to be thrown around everywhere, so don't bet on him. But yeah, Lions coming off the bye, coming off 2 losses. They're currently 0-2.
I know, exactly. It's crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
I still don't rate the Saints at all.
Neither 0.
Like, last week's win,
nothing.
Last week's win for me, it was more a win where it's like, oh, thank fuck for them. They won. But it wasn't like, oh, Saints, they look good. They're back. Because at the end of the day, like, we still don't know about GWS. It was shit conditions that might play a part. And also, you only won by 4 at the end of the game. So,
well, I actually heard Jack Sinclair talking in an interview, and they were telling him like about the end of that game, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like it started to creep in my head that I'm never going to get a win as a captain." So like, even he thought they were going to end up losing that game. So, St Kilda are just a nothing team for me. Like I keep saying,
mid Kilda.
Yeah, I don't rate them. Maybe complete bullshit, but I feel like Brisbane play really well at Marvel. I don't know why. I
feel like we say this often. I feel like we always say Cam Rayner plays well at Marvel.
Cam Rayner definitely.
So Cam Rayner 2+, guys. Cam Rayner 2+.
Should have been one of my player props.
Let me look what it is.
The game will be close, but I can still see the Lions like really wanting to get on track after a 0-2 start to the season.
You'd hope so.
Without a few big names though,
they
which
get a lot
kind
back
of
this week.
scares me.
They get McCluggage back.
They don't get. Do they get McCluggage?
Yep, McCluggage
I thought he was
and a couple
coming. I
others.
thought he was a calf.
Nah, I think they get a couple.
Well, they don't get
wrong.
Harris Andrews. I don't know about Zach Bailey. I still worry about them. I think this game might be a bit of a dogfight. Reluctantly, I think the Saints keep it close here.
Oh, wow.
I know, crazy after
way.
all the shit I've just talked about them. I wouldn't be in complete shock either if the Lions go 0-3.
Nah, see, I would.
We've seen it before. We saw it the year after I saw it in 2024 where Collingwood and Brisbane both started off 0-4 or whatever it was.
Brisbane went 0-5.
I can see this happening. My free pick is going to be the Saints plus 13.5 at $1.90. This will be a do not include in my multi.
Stinky.
Yeah, the line's hard for me in this one. I will not be including this in my multi, so don't take it if you don't want to, but that's my free pick for this game.
I have a very strict theme coming along this week in my free tips, and I'm going to back it again right here. Lions off their bye round will beat the Saints, who played last week. So far, I'm 3 of 3 of the teams coming off the bye. Other than that reason, the Lions just have to get going and will get their first win of the season. No panic for them, and they will just simply get it done. Saints will be good at their favourite ground, just not good enough for Brisbane. Getting a few soldiers back. My free tip is the Lions minus 13.5 at $1.90. Complete opposite to you. And I also love Cam Rayner 2+ goals at $2.03.
Love that as well. The Dockers versus the Tigers.
Optus.
At Optus, this has been done to death. What do you think about Voss? Like the scratching of the head, the crying. You were on the other side of me.
I've changed my mind. At the start, I was like, bro, is it really that bad? It's good for the game. But then I just like looked a bit into it. And Voss this year scored 1 goal. He's missed like 4. And he's just like, I think he is just a bit of a wanker.
Yeah,
because you're not good enough to be doing that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're not good enough to be doing that. And I get the whole prancing. Like, I fucking can't stand him, by the way. But I get the whole prancing thing.
Personality,
Great personality, chest out, fucking run around the whole field after you score a goal. Good on you. Like, that's great.
Do that if you want to,
And the Freo fans probably absolutely love him.
Yeah.
But then when you get to that, and then when you start to, like... And it's probably like when you hear everyone talk about you.
Oh yeah. He's got a big head.
He's got a big head
Massive
now.
head.
He
He's a
thinks
tool.
he's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
I don't rate it. I don't rate the crying bullshit. I don't rate the scratching of the head.
Because then, like, you brought it up to me, and I kind of thought about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sort of fuck him, because it's like to get personal and do that just to like try and pump yourself up. Because for me now, I look at him and I think, this guy thinks he's all that. He's got a massive head.
He's doing everything he can to
get the commentators
to talk about it.
Yeah, he wants the commentators during the game. He knows what he's doing. When he starts celebrating, he just wants BT to go, oh, I love him so much.
Yeah.
Wanker.
On Fremantle, apart from Voss, that's the footy that we wanted to see. That is why I picked them as my premiership favourites. Easiest minus 21.5 ever.
Easiest 40 plus ever.
And this team is absolutely dominant. And I don't care what anyone says. I know they fumbled against Geelong, but that's Geelong at GMHBA Stadium.
And they were up big.
And they should not have fumbled that 30 whatever point lead that they had. They did, but the start to their games as well, the 2 first quarters that they played, absolutely off the park. They did this without Hayden Young as well last week, so imagine when Young's back.
And they also did it with a bad Sarong game, which just proves...
Well, it tagged Sarong, exactly.
Sarong ended on 16. They proved they're not reliant on Sarong. They're not reliant on Young. Their team is just... very solid. Like Fremantle, very, very good team.
Also, one little extra. Chris Sherry, how good is that?
That was good. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out my Maltese brother.
Maltese brother, exactly. Shout out to all my Maltese people out there. Richmond, Jez.
The Tigers just kind of expected that as well. This is going to be them all season. Like,
this is them, as you said. They're going to be up and down. They're back to reality. They finally played a great team instead of Carlton the week before.
It just shows how bad Carlton are.
It just levels to it. There's levels to the league. Yeah, they look fun and exciting against Carlton. But then when you hear people saying after that game, oh, maybe Richmond can sneak into the wild card. No, wrong. They just versed Carlton. Come up against Gold Coast, get trampled.
This is the time of the year where you can really like target the nuffy, to be honest. You can target the nuffy because the first and we called this to perfection last week, and it was just the whole Melbourne against St Kilda. They smashed them. They played really good footy.
They looked exciting.
Yeah. Now they're going to Optus. It's only minus 21.5. How? After Freo almost beat Geelong at GMHBA.
And Freo are
a
great team. Just look at their lists. It's just obvious. But it's good because this is when you can find the value.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think I found on this game.
I think this will be a demolition job. I've gone a little different here. There's not really much you have to say about this game.
Can I guess what you're going to go? Because I like it.
Tell me.
I'm guessing you're going first quarter line.
I'm not going first quarter line.
But I like that.
I'm going Fremantle over 107.5 points. They're at Optus. I think they've kicked 100 in both of their games so far. One against Geelong at GMHBA, one against Melbourne at Optus. They kicked 118 or something last week. I think they do it again. Free-flowing footy, absolutely put the pedal to the metal. I think this hits with ease.
I like that a lot. That's actually a very good pick, especially with big Josh Tracy down there. My Coleman medalist. No, it was yours.
My Coleman medalist.
Sorry.
Mine, actually. You keep having fun with Phil Thorpe.
Ben King, you fuck.
Oh, did you have Ben
King?
Yes, okay, you're having more fun than me.
Yeah, exactly. So fuck you. This could get ugly for the Tigers. It's one thing to be good against the Blues, like we just said. It's another thing to lose convincingly to a top team at the MCG, but it's a whole nother different level to go over to Optus and play Freo in 2026, who are dominant. Freo are dominant and will do this in style. I love Tracy again, and I love Freo 40 plus at $1.60. Jez, I'm going a bit safer this week on my tips. I'm trying to get that
40 plus. Oh, okay, yeah. What's the actual line?
I think 47 or 48, something like that.
Yeah, it is 47. Fuck, that's really high.
Yeah, and my headline for this game is Freo froth Optus. Dockers dominate at home for the second week in a row. Watch out, guys, because next week that'll be Jez's headline.
Yeah.
Just watch out.
Essendon versus North Melbourne actually is a spicy game for a Saturday night. It's good to be a standalone as well, because if they had like Brisbane Sydney on at this time, you'd rather watch that.
It's a good team, yeah. But
because it's this.
It's like going to a garbage tip and seeing them empty.
This is like if you hate Essendon and North, it's like your wet dreams because it's going to be carnage either way. The Bombers actually might be worse than West Coast.
Oh, they're fucking bad, man.
They actually might be worse than West Coast. a bunch of players who just looked like they did not want to play at all. How many weeks, all right, until the media starts going and people start saying, oh, you know why this happened? Because of the Zach Merritt off-season incident.
Oh, they've started.
Have they?
I
haven't heard it yet, but I'm
today.
telling you, get ready for that pylon. Yeah. Just on the Zach Merritt situation, and I want to see if you agree with me here, yeah? So now that the season has started fucking abysmal, everyone's on that, they really should have let Merritt go.
Yeah, I know.
They should have let Merritt go, this and that. What would have happened if Merritt did go to Hawthorn? And in that first game of the season, he had fucking 45 disposals and thing. Everyone would have been saying, this wouldn't have been happening with Merritt. So either way...
This week, people would have been saying, you know what? If they didn't let go of Merritt, if they held strong, this season would be going better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just bullshit.
I'm with you, Essendon fans, on that, because that would piss me the fuck off. Because either way you go about that, they would have the media would have ripped you apart either way you go about it.
Does Brad Scott get the sack if they lose this game?
Me and you were kind of discussing this. I don't know if it'll be in this game. I have a little prediction for a thing, and get ready to come to me when this is right.
Okay, let's hear it.
Essendon are an absolute rabble. I told you about it a bit earlier on in the day. I think at some point of the season, Scott does get the sack, yeah?
Yep.
I think as soon as he gets the sack, James Hird is coming in that next week. And
I don't think so, but
hear me out. They're going to tell him, come in, because that's all you hear. Heard this, heard that, bring Lloyd in, blah, 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 from Essendon fans. So... the board, the CEO, the president, whatever, are going to say, you know what, Essendon fans, have your fucking James Hird. They're going to bring him in. He's going to coach out the rest of the season. They're going to be terrible. They're going to give him next year as well. And next year is going to be the year where they're going to say, like, all right, here we go. If he does well this year and does well with the shit list that we have, we'll keep him on. If he doesn't, we move on. We do a proper process. We find an actual proper coach, not just picking out the next best name.
And at least that coach then won't have to live his whole career
with the James Hird cloud.
Yeah, everyone's saying, we should get James Hird. He's shit.
I reckon they're going to do that. I reckon they're going to say, here, have your fucking James Hird. You have a year of him. See how good he is. See how much he turns the club around.
But you know what I don't get about the whole James Hird hysteria is we saw James Hird for not a long time, but a few years before the drug scandal with a better list than Essendon have now. So, and you know what? They weren't winning flags. So I don't get why everyone's so tied to Hird at Essendon. They're crazy. And I also was thinking about this today. I didn't even tell you. But is there a reality that Chris Scott got lucky? Is Chris Scott lucky? Because his twin brother Brad, as close as DNA as you can get, has got sacked from North Melbourne and is probably going to get sacked from Essendon. They talk the same. They have the same philosophies. They have everything similar. If you switch Brad Scott and Chris Scott's coaching careers, do Geelong still become successful? And does Chris Scott get sacked from North and sacked from Essendon?
Yeah, so no. If you swap them, they have the exact same career trajectory, but it's just different people in the chair.
Exactly. I think Chris Scott lucked out in Geelong.
Oh, yeah, lucked out.
If Brad Scott ended up in Geelong, got the job over Chris, if he went for it, I just think Brad Scott is
100%.
One of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
And Chris Scott's like, he got thrown around at North. He made a few prelims but didn't do anything. He got thrown around at Essendon and got the sack.
100%. I think if you switched them, that'd be the exact same. As for North Melbourne, so fucking disappointed in them. I said it last week that this is the game that you need to come out and do. Are North going to do what they do every single year? They came out and did what they did every single year.
We pumped them up.
30 points fucking up in that game, and you end up coming out and fucking that up. I don't understand how. Shout out to West Coast for playing their asses off.
Yeah, it was a good game. But I got to give West Coast credit.
Fucking
but
disappointing.
You know what? We pumped them up last week, Jez. We said...
I know.
We said that they will possibly make a wild card. They were 30 points up. I was saying to myself, you know what? Good. They're looking good. And then they fucking do that, honestly.
Surely they didn't drink their own bathwater after that.
They probably
Port
did.
Adelaide win.
They probably did.
Because it's fucking really frustrating. And I couldn't even imagine for North fans.
Oh, it sucks.
Surely there's no way North fucked this one up.
Surely not.
At Marvel Stadium, in my eyes, they're a much superior team in all facets of the ground, all areas of the ground.
1,000,000%. There's nowhere I would take Essendon.
Indoors at Marvel, which suits them to a T. Hopefully they play like we did see, high scoring, fast pace in that Port Adelaide game to start the season off. Honestly, I think Essendon are the worst team in the AFL at the moment. My free pick for this game is going to be North Melbourne minus 12.5 at $1.90.
It just has to happen for North.
Has to.
And you know what helps them as well? The fact that they lost badly last week. So now they've got to kick their ass back into gear and bounce back. And I think they will. I just think Essendon are really fucking shit. And I think that a lot of people might lean towards Essendon fighting a bit more, having a better performance this week than they have the last two because it's been embarrassing. But I just can't see it happening. My free tip is North win head-to-head at $1.60.
Ooh, you're going pussy beds this week. Port Adelaide versus the West Coast Eagles. For Port, fair win, but against a horrible opponent, so you don't really take much out of it.
Don't know.
They'll show flashes during the season, but we called this to a T as well. Like that, when their bottom players are playing well, they'll absolutely dominate. Flat track bullies. I was actually worried to do it last week, and I'm worried to do it this week as well with the whole flat track bully Port
They're
Adelaide
flat track
thing.
bullies.
They are, but then again, to lose to North the way that they did, it's just like, I think they're front runners. That's what they should be.
They are front runners, yeah.
When they're up, they'll pile on 12 goals in a row. But
especially at home, which they are this week. But a few people got sucked into not seeing that coming. We saw it perfectly, but a few of my mates, when I was out on a Sunday, were telling me, oh, no, I think Essendon wins that. And I was just like bemused. I did not see how anyone could see Essendon winning that game. I know Port looked bad against North, but they are the biggest flat track bullies, front runners in the AFL. And you're right. Once Port get a sniff of blood at Adelaide Oval, they'll hammer a team. Yeah. Like they did to Brisbane a couple of years ago when Brisbane won the flag.
I remember that, yeah.
They just can do that at Port, at Adelaide Oval for some weird reason.
I also called that game to a T last week as well, just with the over. I said I like the over in there.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
When these two, when two bad defenses come up against each other, you fucking just got to take it.
And you know what? It's so free-flowing these days that everyone's just wrecked. They're just running through the middle. It's like a basketball game.
Yeah.
West Coast.
So West Coast culture builder. Like, really, really good win, I think.
Yeah, it was a good win. I'm not going to go too early because it was North.
And it was North.
North is still North.
I was watching that game, cheering for North Melbourne, and you know when you have a bet on, like I had a bet on North Melbourne minus 14.5, some shit like that. And you know when you're betting on a team and you're watching them and you're really barracking for the other team, but the opposition is just doing absolutely everything right.
Yeah,
it's just like everything was going their way, everything precise, right.
It was the best West Coast game I've seen for
a long
3
time.
years. Yeah.
Some of the older guys too, Baker, Yo, Cripps, Duggan, they really dug deep on that one. This game will be super hard for me. I really want to pick the Eagles plus money here with the line. The line's currently plus 29.5. I really want to take it. But then again, I am worried that they might just be Optus merchants this season. Absolutely fail everywhere else. And as soon as they got to get on a plane, if I was forced to make a pick, and this is my free pick, and it will not be included in my multi, it will be Port Adelaide 1-39 at $2.35.
Oh, shit.
I think West Coast have a bit of confidence after that game.
I don't know, Jez.
I think Port win, but I think it's not over 40 points.
Yes.
I may regret that, but still not going to be in my multi, so not really that bothered.
Regardless of West Coast performances last week and how good they looked, I can't overlook how dominant Port were at home against a fellow bottom 6 team. And they're coming up at home once again against the bottom 6 team once again. Against the bottom 6 team who are on a high once again, like North were, like Essendon, not Essendon, but North were last week and got smacked by West Coast. I think West Coast are on a high this week and will get smacked by Port. I think the Eagles will manage to keep it close-ish early, but Port will just have another week in a row where they just get ahead, front runners, flat track bullies at Adelaide Oval against a shit team. Give me Port minus 29.5 at $1.90. So we're a bit different this week,
We are a bit different.
Going into the last game.
And the final game of the round is the Blues versus the Demons. I can't lie, I'm a bit excited for this game.
I wouldn't say excited, but it's a game. It's on the television. Yes.
Carlton coming off the bye. Melbourne always going to get handled like that against Freo. They're going to be
so fucking obvious.
We called this as well.
obvious.
It's going to be like this. They're going to be that high scoring, fast flowing team. They'll also get scored against very heavily.
But a week like this, I think it'll be closer to the St Kilda, Melbourne we saw, than the Fremantle. Once again, it's simply because of the opposition. And I know Carlton bet Richmond and are coming off a bye, but I'm not sold on them.
Me neither at all. Not sure if the weather's going to affect this one because it's horrible weather for the next couple of days in Melbourne.
I thought Sunday's nice weather.
I think Sunday is all right.
I think Sunday's great weather.
Is it?
I think so.
I think it was 20 or some shit the last time I checked. And cloudy, rainy. What is it?
Well, not 20 and just overcast.
All right, but I'm still for that fact. It's going to be wet the whole fucking weekend, so I'm not going to put much love into the over.
Fuck.
Even though I do love it. Oh, Ethan's got the over.
I thought the weather was great.
What honestly gives anyone the thought that Carlton can win this game here?
The bye. The bye is what would give me the thought.
Well, I have no thought of that, to be honest. Just because they're coming off a bye, just because they have more experienced players, Carlton's whole problem is that they can't run and gun. And now they're coming up against a team who can run and gun and has that outside running and can get up and going and move from contest to contest more than anyone in the AFL.
You're right.
Young team, fast team against Carlton's slow dinosaurs like Hewitt and Cripps.
But they got Jagger Smith.
I don't give a shit. This is going to be an embarrassment. My free pick for this game is going to be Melbourne, just straight out win at $1.82.
Fuck, I actually like that a lot.
I love it so much.
You've really swayed me because when I was looking at my tips for this week, based off these teams, it was very hard for me to choose a squad. That's why I'll give you my free tip now. I've done not Melbourne. I've done the over 170.5 at $1.90 because I do think it'll be a fast flowing game. I think Melbourne's defense can be a bit susceptible to being weak. So I think Carlton will still get the scoring Carlton will still get the scoring opportunities. Melbourne, of course, will score a fuckload. I do think if I was to pick a team, gun to my head, I'd pick Melbourne after Jez's broke it down there for us nicely. But I will stick strong with my free tip of the over 170.5 at $1.90. I still think that will happen, Jez.
My final headline for this final game of the round is going to be Lynch him. After Carlton fall to 1-2 and should have been 0-3 if Lynch didn't have a disaster game.
Good one.
The pressure mounts even further on Voss.
Ooh, if they lose this one, Voss.
If they lose this one, because then the Richmond one really looks like a loss then.
And then you have next week another North next week.
At Marvel as well.
Voss looks very, very, very scared.
All 7 of my legs, which I'm not going to be... I did put a tiny bit on it. But all 7 of my legs come out to $123.40.
Shit, that's high for you.
I know, it is high for me. But the 5 that I am taking, which are going to be... I'll tell you in a sec. But it comes out to $27.78.
Pussy.
Those 5 are going to be Geelong minus 16.5.
Love
Collingwood 1-39. Fremantle over 107.5 total points. North minus 12.5 and Melbourne win head-to-head. That'll give you $27.78. Absolutely love that.
I like that a lot, I can't lie. But I also liked all 7 of my picks, which go for a combined multi of $72.99.
Cheapskate.
So I want a bit of the Jezza out this week, and I'll get 7 of 7. So ride with me, boys.
Boys, thank you for listening to another episode of the Punters Pod. Is next week around where we have 9 games, or is it still a 7er?
Oh, I don't fucking know anymore.
Well,
Jez,
hopefully
with this
we have
stupid
a full
AFL.
9 games next round.
But we'll go into next week with a 7 of 7. So happy
Let's
days.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate all you guys listening week in, week out.
We have had a great week of listens and views last week, so let's keep it up this week. Love you all. Peace, prosperity, and love. You.